What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start this show by being transparent. Yesterday, NBA, I split. I ended up taking the Lakers first half under, which got there. I took the first half under in the Washington game. That did not get there. Full game stayed under, but not the first half. So split NBA, and I added a college loser on Stony Brook. So took a step backwards yesterday. Still, basketball has been good, but yesterday not so much. Vino, hopefully it was a little better for you.
Yeah, small personal loss yesterday. I left it here on the show. Had Wemby points and rebounds over 35 and a half. Didn't really come close. Never was ever even in the vicinity of coming close. So that was a personal loss out of my wallet. As far as clients are concerned, I was saying to you off air, it's a day where I probably should have played more, should have had more client releases because what I liked wound up winning, but it is what it is. College was the moneymaker yesterday. Skee 3-1 college. And the one I lost, Idaho team total over 78 and a half. They got to 78. So we were 1 point from having a back-to-back or a back-to-back 4-0 sweeps because we had 4-0 the night before in college hoops. So 7-1 last 2 days. We'll take it. We move on to today and the NBA and college cards.
All right, let's get it. And this comment here from Mark says over under 155 for Ski to start the show. Under is plus 140. Cash that plus money, I guess.
Good
All
call,
right.
though. It was very close.
Yeah, it's a nice. You made a good line. All right, first game up, we're going Cavs and Pistons. Open up -7 for the Pistons, down to 6. Total open 224 and a half. That's up as high as 227 and a half. For the injury report, we know Isaiah Stewart is still suspended. I forget how long is he suspended for the season. I didn't even. Uh, I don't remember seeing like an actual time frame, but I assume he's suspended for a long while. For the Cavaliers, Schroeder's probable. Ellis, Harden are both questionable. Wade is doubtful. Looks like Donovan Mitchell is out along with Max Struess. So um, a lot of question marks for this Cavs team. Could be missing a little bit here. It's tough. I mean, if it's all these questions, I would ask this. This is the question I would ask. If it's all these question marks for the Cavs team, why did the line come down from 7 to 6? I would expect Harden to play, but I don't know. What do you think about this game?
Well, I think that's the reason James Harden carries an awful lot of weight in the line. We'll see if it if it moves the other way if he doesn't play. But I'm with you. I think he would play. Real quick, the Isaiah Stewart suspension you were um, asking about. I just looked it up. 7 games, seven
Oh
game
wow.
suspension. So
Okay.
he probably is due to
Almost
come back
done.
pretty soon. Yeah,
Yeah.
almost done, which will help. Yeah, this is a hard one for me because I love Detroit in all aspects, and Detroit actually I saw the other day has the best winning percentage against elite teams in the NBA. They've just done the job every time, from almost every time they've been asked to do it. So no reason to think why they wouldn't believe that in their minds. This is, I don't like to use the word statement or message games, but Detroit wants to let the East know right now you got to go through us, would be their feeling. So certainly I'd expect their best effort at home here against Cleveland tonight. I like Detroit's defense a heck of a lot better than I like Cleveland's. No, Donovan Mitchell does kind of take away a lot of scoring here for Cleveland. This total a little bit baffling, Skee, up to 227 and a half in some spots. And I don't know, Detroit just doesn't give up all that many points. So Cleveland's going to have to be a little better defensively here in this game to win. I don't think you're going to have a 120 to 117 type game. To me, the total's a little high. If I was going to take a stance on this game and I didn't, it would be with the under at 227 and a half, just because I think that Detroit's proven time and time again defensively. They can keep their opponents down no matter who they are. And the other thing I'll say is that with James Harden leading the show, it does get to be a little more half court oriented, which limits the possessions that you get in a full game. So for me, I'd probably take a look at under 227.5.
LJ says
There
19
you
and 7
go.
versus above 500 teams to be exact. Appreciate you sharing that. There's another comment here that I was looking for. How effective can Harden be? I mean, it is his offhand, so maybe his handle might be a little loose until he gets used to it. Maybe that's the way it would affect him. But I still think he can score and he'll be effective. This I probably would. I don't know. I feel like the line is telling me to take the Cavaliers, but hey, I don't have that ticket in my pocket. Nets and Celtics opened up minus 17 and a half and hasn't moved. Total opened up 208 and a half. It went down a little bit. Now it's back up. I'm seeing it as high as 210. Injuries. I don't see anybody on there for Brooklyn. For Boston, looks like they're pretty healthy as well. I mean, only Tatum on the injury report. It is the second of a back to back for the Nets, third and four, I believe, for both teams, fourth and six for both teams as well. Celtics, though, off of that loss, right? Celtics have been playing good basketball. Nets feel like have been a punching bag pretty much lately. That's why we have a 17 and a half number here. 17 and a half point spread with a 209. How often do we see that, Vino? I mean, that's telling us the Nets should really struggle to score here. Um, if the Celtics are up big and they know the game is won, they just, take it easy to end the game. I don't know. I do lean towards under. I would not bet the Nets. What do you think?
Yeah, we learned last night, Skee. Those double filthy dogs, they were filthier than ever last night, and Brooklyn was one of
Please.
them. Chicago, Washington, Brooklyn. I mean, eh, those teams have no place in our accounts under the my bets list. Or if you're going to a casino and getting a ticket, they have no business being in your pocket as a ticket. Those three teams, they're terrible and they don't care. However, you bring the mathematics of it all, Skee, 19 and a half. And this total, obviously the correlation there would be toward taking the points. Boston is off that extended West Coast road trip. First game back home, played a lot of good teams out west, did fail in the final game against Denver, I think it was, because it was a really low scoring game. Boston, Jaylen Brown played, but it looked like Boston was a little bit fatigued because Denver generally doesn't play that good at defense. I don't know that I want to lay this amount of points with them. First game back home. I just said the Brooklyn Nets have no place showing up in my accounts under my bets, so I can't play them. The only option would be total, and maybe under is the right move here. Like Boston could win this thing 101 to 90, be way the heck under the number, and it wouldn't surprise me at all.
We're in agreement on that. This next game, I have some questions for you. Um, Bucks and Knicks opened up eight. It's like 8.5 for the Knicks. Total came down from an opener of 220 and a half. I'm seeing as low as 218 and a half out there right now. Um, Giannis, Taurean Prince remain out. McBride remains out for this Knicks team. Third game in 4 nights for the Bucks. The Knicks, meanwhile, are pretty well rested. I think they had 2 days off before this game. You've been riding those Bucks overs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I would ask you, why today? I mean, I'm looking at the last couple games. The Bucks getting well into the games are getting into the 230s at least, 240s even some of these games. I mean, why is this one opening 220 and a half and continuing to drop? Would that scare you off continuing that overtrain?
No, but it indicates that groups of people have more money than I do because I'm in on the over already, and my bet goes nowhere. For some reason, this game's been bet under. You just went through the full game total results of Milwaukee games. Defensively, they've been a sieve: 118, 122, 117, 116. All those games since the All-Star break, right? Played 4 times, gave up at least 116 in all 4 games. Nick's certainly way more than capable of getting to 116 against this particular defense. However, We've stated it a couple of times now. Milwaukee's just found some offensive rhythm. The guards have been good. Kevin Porter Jr., Rollins, talked about Cam Thomas a little bit, but they've been in a good offensive rhythm, scored 118 against Cleveland the other day. And I get that wasn't the best situation for the Cavs, but the Bucks did win the game, score 118, 128 the night before that against Miami. So came back with 118 in a back-to-back situation. I don't know, Skee. Everything I think of in this game or every angle I'm using tells me go right ahead and bet over because it should be in the 220s. This game should land there. The injury list is not affecting any type of play here. So again, to me, Milwaukee just at this point in time is a green light to the over, and especially at this price range. It just, to me, a little bit too low here. Knicks do way better, right? The Knicks play way better against sub 500 teams than they do against the elites of the league. They seem to continue to find trouble, even though they came way back to beat Houston a few days ago. I like over, and simply stated, that's all I can say about 218 and a half is the best number you can get out there. So if you shop it well, you don't have to pay the price of 219 and a half. If you want to tail, but I like Bucks overs right now.
Well, I'm just gonna play. I'm just gonna make a case for the other side and say neither team is really playing with pace. Hasn't really stopped the Bucks because their offense has been clicking. They've been shooting it well and not really getting any stops. On the other side, though, Nick's offense hasn't been great. It's been the defense that's doing a job for them. So the pace, I don't love. Maybe that's why we continue to get this low number. I would be on under if I'm betting this one. I'm sorry, Vino.
That's all right. That's why they watch the show, for us to argue every now and again, or be on opposite sides. Never argue.
All right, Grizzlies and Mavs opened up -5.5. Looks like 3.5, 4 out there. Total went from 235.5 as high as 238. You have Ty Jerome doubtful, Aldama, Clark, Coward, Edie, Morant all out. For Dallas, Martin is questionable. Clay, PJ, both doubtful. Bagley, Flag, both out. I mean, kind of getting sick of these dumpster games like this, but I don't see a whole lot of defense in this game. I would agree with the market pushing this one up here, and yeah, I can't really back Memphis without Ty Jerome in the lineup. That's just really how I feel. So I guess Mavs and over. Any thoughts from you here, Grizzlies, Mavs?
Yeah, we kind of talked about the same exact thing last night. Didn't Dallas play Sacramento last night, or am I wrong here? Yeah, they played Sacramento last night. We talked about this. The number was in the 230s. The only way I could see to play it would be over. Like you say, these are dumpster games. Nobody seems to care, but Dallas has gone over. I think it was a 237 against Brooklyn a couple of nights ago, and then
Yeah.
another big scoring night last night. So they're pretty much showing you they can score against this level of competition, especially the state that Memphis is in right now, so small. Neither team has rim protection, right? They're both extremely small at the rim, even if Gafford goes. But I do worry a little bit about Memphis not having Ty Jerome. I'd say that. So if I was going to shave this one down, I think I would look toward Dallas team total going over. I hate to exclude Memphis because they do score a lot, but without Ty Jerome, and I think you've mentioned this before anyway, that Ty Jerome is kind of an ignition guy for this team. When he's running the show, I trust him a little bit more. So I guess if I was going to play, it'd be Dallas team total. I'm going to look it up really fast for everybody here so we get the current number. I'm staring at 120 and a half for Dallas, which if you look at it both ways, Memphis gives up. Dallas has been scoring over that particular number. So maybe Dallas team total.
All right, good stuff on that. We'll move over to the last game on the slate. That's the Nuggets and the Thunder. Opened up -8.5 for OKC. I see 8 or 7.5, depending where you shop. Total went up as well from 229.5. I'm guessing I'm seeing as high as 234 out there right now. Injury report. For Denver, you have Strother, probable. Jones, Murray, Pickett, questionable. Watson, Gordon, Bates, out. For OKC, J Dub, AJ, and Carlson, all out. Looks like SGA is going to be available. SGA did miss a couple weeks. I saw somebody in the chat ask if he'll be on a minutes restriction. I would guess so after missing 3 weeks. But they haven't mentioned anything yet. Um, the Thunder, off of a loss, right? They were shorthanded, and I think they were playing on a back to back. The Nuggets, they came off of a win where they actually played some defense for once, Rob. I mean, when's the last time we seen the Nuggets only give up 100 points? Not very often. So coming into this game versus the Thunder, this is the same team that also put them out the playoffs. How are you viewing this one shaking out?
Yeah, I think Oklahoma City probably had their sights set on this game, right? Because remember the other night they did not play Holmgren or Hartenstein, both
Yep.
centers out. They really didn't play much of a lineup at all against Detroit, and even still, that was oh man, where the power forward Jalen Williams played. I think he had like 30 that night, which was kind of surprising. But boy, Oklahoma City is so deep. But tonight they're playing everybody, which indicates to me that they still, treat Denver as A plus competition getting out of the West, and they want to beat Denver. Um, the Denver side, if I knew for sure, I'm assuming that Jamal Murray's going to play. He got sick in the first quarter. He was sick, and then he just couldn't play anymore in the first quarter of the game the other night. That had a lot to do with their offense sputtering. Only scored 103. When he's off the floor, that's a different offense. I feel like if he plays Skee, they're going to get to their team total of 112 and a half, which is kind of low for a Denver game. OKC has all their defensive parts in order here. I could almost make the case that OKC should get over their team total too, which would put you directly on full game over. Um, it's the way Denver games have gone all year, except for the other night, which I'm treating as a mirage. I don't think that's any buy sign on Denver unders or Denver team total unders or opponent's team total unders. So one of two ways I'll play this. Denver team total over 112 and a half. If I could get the go ahead on Murray, I think that's too low for that team. And there's a potential to just not want to exclude OKC. Just bet the whole thing over 233 and a half. That's the way the money's pushed it. But I'm sure a huge bulk of that push is simply based on SGA playing.
Probably. I mean, he is probably worth, 4 points at least to, something like that. Or at least that's what I would think. So you said Nuggets are over, right?
Yeah, Nuggets team total over or the full game over.
Okay. You know, the Nuggets have been really good as a road underdog this year. They've cashed 8 out of 10, and they are shorthanded. They see a little shorthanded still. I mean, I don't know. To me, it does kind of seem easy to take that 8 points. Seems like a lot, but it's the only way I could really look at this one. Um, the Nuggets, I just feel like the Nuggets right now, like they were in a stretch where like they lost 6 out of 9 games. Like you got to start putting together some good performances and get on a little streak. I think it's a little bit of a buy sign on the Nuggets in the near future, even though they're not that healthy yet. Would you agree with that or disagree?
Yeah, to your point, you maybe just check the standings again, the conference standings, and the Nuggets are in a force position right now, which is kind of you want to be one of the top four. But they're only a half game behind Houston, who's three, and they're only a half a game ahead of Minnesota, who's five. So you really don't want to slip to five where you lose all home floor advantage. So I do agree with you that Denver's got to pick it up and win some games here, 4-6 over the last 10. I want to be sure Jamal Murray's playing though. I just feel like without Jamal Murray, they're a different team. That's not any earth shattering news, but I'd love to. I'm going to assume that It was only an illness the other night. I'm going to assume that here tonight he'll play.
All right. And I will just mention that I would, I don't know. I don't see as many points in this game. SGA probably be rusty coming back and be on a minutes limit. I think that OKC will have better centers in there to defend. And I truly believe Denver thinks they have to play defense to win, or not have to, but in order to, be better than average to do anything they want to do this season, they're going to have to continue what they did in that game versus Boston. That's just my thought process on this game. We'll see how it shakes out. Quick and easy today. That's 5 games, Rob Veno. So we are gonna wrap it up like that. Before we do best bets, I think this thing is almost over. So let's put it up one more time. It's the last day we actually gonna put it up here. I think 10 days of all access for the price of 7, save $69. And get involved with either Rob Veno or myself. And yeah, I guess I'll move over to best bets on that note. I'll ask you if there's anything else you'd like to promote. And if you have a best bet for the show, we'd love to hear it. If you don't, it's all good.
Real quick, those who want to join us tomorrow morning, Wager Talk last call, 11:15 a.m. Eastern time till noon. I'll be on with Kelly in Vegas and Adam Trigger, the co-host of Full Court Press, and we'll go through all the college hoop up until noon tip-off. So if you're interested in college hoop tomorrow, tune in 11:15 a.m. for 45 minutes of college hoop breakdowns. Skee, I hate to do this 2 times in a week, but I didn't play
Do
anything
it.
here tonight. I just didn't play. And I'm probably not going to recommend anything until I get some type of added info later in the day. So I'm going to leave the chat empty-handed to their own devices. The best I could do is break down the games like I did on the show, but it hasn't led me to any direct path to the window yet.
All right. I'm going to do the same thing. For my promo, I'm going to remind everybody that the last 187 plays of basketball, I've hit 56.5%. And if you look at the 4% plays or higher, 16 and 9 on those in that same span. Q says, why this dude sounds so unsure? I mean, I have a play I really love. I have a play I study for like 11 hours. I got like 10 paragraphs written right here for you if you want it. But it's a 5% play over at WagerTalk. You know, I spend a lot of time and effort and, to make sure I really, really love whatever play it is. So that is my best bet. If you want to be involved, I mean, really, you should take advantage of that 10 days for only $69. If, the 5% is $39, but that's $35, but that's just me. Regardless, that's a play that I really, really like for tonight. So that's all I'm going to have for today. Vino, appreciate you taking the time to break the games down with me. Helps my process. I'm sure it helps others out there as well. People in the chat, we appreciate you. Mark says you got the Cliff Notes version, Skee. Yeah, we appreciate you in the chat. Great people, great cappers, and we're all just trying to get to the window. So appreciate y'all. Anthony Roman reminds everybody to hit the like before you leave. Yeah, best of luck on all your action. We will catch you all again next week.